everyone! Today I'm going to attempt to make Smaug the dragon from the Hobbit out of clay. I asked you guys on my live stream what kind of things you wanted to see me make, and a lot of you said you wanted to see a dragon of some sort. So I chose one of my favorite dragons. But I'm kind of worried because I was going to go for the live action version of him, so it has a lot of details, so it's going to be a little difficult. But anyway, let's give it a try! So Smaug is a reddish-orange color, so I'm just taking these 3 colors of clay, and I'm going to mix them all together to get the exact color that I need. Now that we made the right color, I'm going to start sculpting the shape for his body. I'm also going to make mine sitting on a pile of gold. So I'm going to paint it gold later, but for now I'm going to sculpt it out of white clay. So this is the shape of the base I'm going to be using to put the dragon on. So I'm just going to bake this really fast so that I can sculpt the dragon on top of it. So now that this is baked, we can just attach the dragon to it and sculpt on top of it. So this is how I ended up positioning my dragon. So now we can sculpt the rest of the body. So he needs his neck and his head and his arms and legs. So I'm just going to add another piece of clay here and I'm going to blend it together so that it turns into the shape of his body. So this is how it turned out when I blended it. Now I need to add the neck and the head. I'm going to put some wire in my clay to keep the neck steady. After doing that, now we need to attach the head of the dragon. So his head is kind of a triangular shape, so I'm just going to be pinching it in until I get a cone. So this is the shape of his head. Now I'll be cutting out the shape of his mouth. I scratched lines into the clay where I think the mouth would be, so I can go ahead and make these a little bit deeper. So before I put on any more of the other detail, I'm going to attach it to the rest of the dragon so we don't accidentally squish it when we're attaching it to the neck. So now that it's attached, we're going to start making the wings and the legs. So now that we've attached the head, all we have to do is shape the wings because they're going to be covering most of his body. So to make the wings, I'm going to roll out this clay really thin so that I can cut it to the shape that I want it to be. So that would be much easier than trying to sculpt the shape of a dragon wing. You don't want to make it too thin though, otherwise it might break. So now that I rolled it out, we're ready to start shaping it into the shape that we want the wing to be. I'm just going to cut it into what I think would be the shape. I'm not exactly sure. It's kind of like a bat wing if you look up a bat wing. So we got the shape of the wing. It looks really weird right now, but we have to add some details on it to make it look like there's actual bones and stuff inside the wing. So here's the wings so far, but what we're going to be doing later is painting all of this textured stuff a different color, and the inside, we're going to be painting everything a different color eventually, so that's why I'm just using the same color just to get like the shape right, and then later we're going to be painting this like a darker color so then it doesn't, so it like pops out more. Next, what you're going to do is you're going to texture the wing and you're going to put some lines on it in between the parts that stick out that we just textured. So now that it's completely textured, I'm going to set it aside for later and sculpt the next wing. It's going to be the exact same thing except for you're putting it on the opposite side of the dragon, so you have to flip everything around. So it's currently 4 a.m. so I'm going to go to sleep and I'll film the rest of this video tomorrow. So see you then. So it's now day 2 of making Smaug out of clay, and we're going to start by making his next wing. So we're going to do the exact same thing that we did to make this wing, except we're going to flip everything so it goes on the other side. So I made both wings, but I'm not going to attach it quite yet because I'm going to put some details on the face and stuff first, and then I'll probably end up baking it so that the wings can stand up like they're supposed to. So next I'm just going to make his eyes and all of the details that need to be in his face before I bake the dragon so that I can attach the wings, and then we'll add all the details like the spikes and scales after. So now that I've added details onto the face, I'm going to go ahead and bake this part so that I can attach the wings without worrying about them falling off. So now that it's baked, I'm going to go ahead and attach the wings. I'm going to prop them up using something oven safe so that we could get the right shape for the wings and so they don't like fall down. So what I ended up doing was getting a piece of a paper plate and just sticking it in here so that the wing would fold over it and give it this kind of look that we're going for. So now what I'm going to do is bake this again, and then I'm going to do the same thing with the other wing after this one is securely on. So now that we have both wings attached, I'm going to go ahead and start adding some of the little details like scales or some horns on him. So now I'm going to try to put scales all along his back or his neck. So I'm going to do that by trying to make like a layered effect with the clay. I think what I'm going to do is take a piece of clay and then like smooth it out on one end and then put another one on top of that to make like a scaled effect. Now I'm going to add some spikes onto his tail, and then I'm going to add some decorations for the base here so then we can get to painting. So next I'm going to put a bunch of different kinds of treasure around him on the base, so it looks like he's surrounded by piles of treasure. So I put a bunch of treasure around him, and now I'm going to bake it one last time. So now I'm going to go ahead and paint this whole thing gold. So now that I've painted this entire thing gold, I'm going to go ahead and start painting the actual dragon. So I'll start by painting these parts on his wings a bit darker so they stand out more. So now I'm going to do the same thing with a lighter color for parts like under his neck or around his wings. Now I'm just adding some final touches like the gems and eyes. And he's done! This is how he turned out after I've done everything. It took me about 2 days to make him. So I found this, and this is the first dragon I ever made like 6 years ago. But there's definitely a difference. So here's the finished product. And what do you think, Elio? Do you like it? No! So I'm gonna say that's a no. Do you like it? Wow, she loves it! So as you can see, he's pretty big compared to what I normally make, which is like about this size. This is a pretty big charm too. Most of them are about this small. It took me about 2 days to make this. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. So like and subscribe if you want to see more of this. I'll be doing more on my channel. Or comment below what you want to see me make next. I'll also be asking you guys on my TikTok, which is also magpj as well, to see what you guys want to see me make next. So thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye!